Doing well with money has very little to do with how smart you are, and a lot to do with how you behave. Let me tell you a story. Ronald Red was a simple man. He worked as a gas station attendant and a janitor for his entire life. When he died at the age of 92, everyone was shocked. This simple janitor had $8 million in the bank. How? He just saved a little bit of money and invested it for decades. At the same time, Richard Foscone was a highly educated business executive. He studied at Harvard, and he had a brilliant mathematical mind. But he took massive financial risks, and he went completely bankrupt. Welcome back to BookFluency. Here, we help you master your English listening skills while learning the most powerful ideas from the world's greatest books. Today, we are exploring The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Let's learn the real secrets of financial success. No one is crazy. We all do crazy things with money sometimes. We buy things we do not need, or we make bad investments. But Morgan Housel says, no one is actually crazy. We all make decisions based on our own unique life experiences. Imagine a person who grew up in extreme poverty during an economic depression. They will think about money, risk, and saving very differently than someone who grew up in a wealthy family during an economic boom. Your personal experience with money makes up maybe 0.0001% of what happened in the world. But it makes up 80% of how you think the world works. Before you judge someone's financial decisions, remember that they are playing a different game, with different rules, based on their own history, luck, and risk. Luck and risk are two sides of the exact same coin. We love to praise successful people and say, he worked so hard, that is why he is rich. But we often ignore the silent power of luck. Bill Gates is a genius, and he worked incredibly hard. But he also happened to go to Lakeside High School. In 1968, it was one of the only high schools in the entire world that had a computer. That is purely luck. On the other hand, Bill Gates had a best friend named Kent Evans. Kent was just as smart, and they planned to start a company together. But tragically, Kent died in a mountaineering accident before graduation. That is purely risk. When judging financial success, be careful. Not all success is due to hard work, and not all poverty is due to laziness. Never enough. Rajat Gupta was a highly successful businessman. He was worth over $100 million. He had everything, but he wanted to be a billionaire. To get more money, he used illegal insider information to buy stocks. He was caught, lost his reputation, and went to prison. Why did he do it? Because he had no sense of enough. The hardest financial skill in the world is getting the goalpost to stop moving. If you earn $10,000, you want $20,000. If you buy a nice car, you want a luxury car. Social comparison is a game you can never win. There will always be someone richer than you. You must learn to say, I have enough. If you risk what you need to get what you do not need, that is foolish. Confounding, compounding. We all know Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in the world. People write thousands of books analyzing his investing strategies, but they miss the biggest secret. Warren Buffett's real secret is time. Buffett started investing when he was just a child. Now he is in his 90s. More than 95% of his massive wealth came after his 65th birthday. That is the magic of compounding. You do not need to find the perfect investment that will double your money overnight. You just need to find a good return and let it sit there for 30, 40, or 50 years. Compounding is like planting a tree. It takes a very long time to grow, but eventually the branches reach the sky. Good investing is not about making good decisions. It is about consistently not making mistakes. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Getting money and keeping money require two completely different skill sets. Getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. But staying wealthy requires the exact opposite. Staying wealthy requires fear. It requires humility. It requires you to understand that everything you have made can be taken away from you very quickly. You must have a survival mindset. Do not try to maximize your returns if it means risking your survival. Having a large amount of cash in the bank might seem like a bad investment because it earns no interest, but that cash gives you peace of mind. It prevents you from selling your good investments during a market panic. Tails, you win. In business and investing, you can be wrong half the time and still make a massive fortune. This is the power of tail events. A tail event is a rare 1 in a million outcome that drives the majority of results. Think about an art collector. They might buy 100 paintings. 99 of them turn out to be completely worthless, but one of those paintings is a hidden Picasso. That one painting pays for all the losses and makes the collector incredibly rich. The same is true for businesses like Amazon or Disney. They try hundreds of different projects. Most of them fail. But the few that succeed generate billions of dollars. Do not be afraid to fail. You only need to be right a few times to win big. The highest dividend. What is the true purpose of money? Is it to buy fancy cars, big houses, or expensive watches? No. The highest dividend that money pays, the greatest value it has, is the ability to control your own time. Money gives you the freedom to wake up every morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. If you have a small amount of savings, you can take a few days off work if you get sick. If you have a lot of savings, you can quit a job you hate and wait for a better one. Wealth is not about buying things. Wealth is about buying options, flexibility, and freedom. Wealth is what you do not see. We judge wealth by what we see, because that is the only information we have in front of us. We see the big houses, the designer clothes, and the expensive cars. If you see someone driving a $100,000 Ferrari, you automatically think they are rich. But here is the truth. The only data point you actually know about that person is that they have $100,000 less than they did before they bought the car. Rich is current income. You have to spend money to look rich, but wealth is hidden. Wealth is the cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, and the first-class upgrades declined. Wealth is financial assets that haven't yet been converted into the stuff you see. Managing your money is a lifelong psychological game. Be humble when things go well, and be forgiving when they go wrong. Save money, respect the power of compounding, and prioritize your freedom above all else. Thank you for practicing your English listening with BookFluency today. We hope these psychological secrets help you build true, lasting wealth. If you enjoyed this summary, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing books. See you in the next video. And remember, wealth is what you do not see.